Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I am Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And I'm Tess Brigham. I'm the therapist.
And we are back with Love is Blind. This is season 10. They're in Ohio.
Yes.
The whole state apparently is represented.
State of Ohio. Yes.
Not just a city. And, as always happens with Love is Blind, we start out with these rose-colored glasses and we're so excited. And it's like, oh, new city, new people.
Yeah.
What's happening? Is the show improved at all? Have they gotten better at screening and casting and, all that good stuff?
Is love really blind?
Is
it?
love blind? We just go back and forth with it. And then enough time goes by. We've forgotten all the bad from the last season. And then we're back in it. And then it's a roller coaster ride.
It is.
So
it is.
Today we're going to talk about the first 6 episodes. I don't know how many episodes the podcast will be. We might have to break it up into a few episodes. We'll see how it goes, see how far we get.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about the first 6 episodes. So overall, Tess, how are you feeling?
Because I've shared with Brooke more than once that I really went on a journey with the show. And I, like you, yes, I come back, we're answering this question, is love blind? No, it's not. We've asked it 9 times. I don't know why we have to ask it again. But yeah, I went on such a journey. I think one thing I realized when I was watching it the first time around, I've watched it now twice. The first time around is I wasn't paying attention. Like I was like, I'm just going to take it in. I'm not going to take notes. And I think that I was missing things. Like the second time I went through, I was like, oh yeah, oh God, ooh, ooh. So one thing that hit me was it just felt like all of the couples that got together, everybody was sort of matched, in terms of height and what they wanted and attractiveness. And like the woman, Amber, she likes guys that are kind of beefy, like Jordan. It just felt like every single person, it was this match. And so after everyone saw each other on their way to Mexico/Malibu,
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. That I was like, oh, this might be God. This might be, there might be 7 weddings. Who knows what could happen? And then my next thought was when we got to Mexico, wow, Ohio's a horny state. These people fucking
They're
sorry.
Well, most of them.
But even the ones that didn't want to are now going, okay, we'll do it. Let's do it.
If we must
do it. I'm in my era or a season of celibacy, but let's just do it. Let's do it already.
If that's what you need.
To pay attention to me. And again, I don't fault anyone for that. I would be doing the same damn thing.
You got to test drive the car.
You got to figure it out. So, and you do have a limited amount of time. So I get that. But then I was like, God, these people, they're all going to get married. They're so horny. And then they see each other in Mexico and it all
the wheels fall off.
The wheels fall off. Everything starts to fall off. Devontae, who seems like this quiet, they're such a bad match. Mm-hmm. And I find Brittany, there's some pieces of Brittany that I was like, this is a little much, Brittany. He does have the right to be quiet for a moment. He does. But yeah, even like Alex and Ashley, I was like, oh, those two, they seem to like each other a lot. And then you're like, oh, what? Alex?
Yeah.
That guy is scum. But anyway, I went through such a journey, and now at the end of 6, I'm like, oh,
you're like,
will anyone make it to the altar?
Yeah.
I've really gone through it.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of the nature of the show, but this one is really pronounced because they were so excited. Oh, we have 7 engaged couples, one of which we don't even have room for in Mexico. We're going to have to send them to. Now, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Their excuse. Okay. So obviously, if you're listening to this, you watched this, I would hope, or are going to watch it. So, I mean, we're going to be doing spoilers everywhere. So
yeah,
if you haven't finished watching and you don't want anything spoiled, then this isn't going to work for you. But so that's 7 engaged couples, which this does happen sometimes where the couple will get engaged, but for whatever reason, the producers decide that they're kind of too boring. There's not enough there for TV. There's no overlapping, because they love these triangles and quadrangles and whatever. So they just won't feature them on the Mexico trip. So that's not unusual. But this time they claim that because of budgetary constraints.
Yeah, which I think is BS.
Mind you, Netflix is the world's largest subscription-based streaming platform. They have 300 million paid subscribers at, $17.99 a month. That's what I pay. That's like $5.5 billion. And you're telling me that they can't afford to rent an extra room, pay for an extra room.
Well, and they are advertising the hotel, so they are getting a discount.
Yeah,
on that.
Right. And they would probably have to hire a couple more cameramen to follow that couple around. So that makes no sense. But in the end, I feel like Vic and Christine, who end up going to Malibu, which is actually, they're in the Santa Monica Mountains, actually. I looked this resort up online. I think they got the better deal.
You think?
I think this place in it's Calamigos Ranch.
Oh, Casamigos or Calamigos?
Calamigos. Okay. Cala. And it's in the hills in Santa Monica. It's quite a ways from Malibu Beach. It's up in the canyons. But it's gorgeous and it's luxurious, and they have a spa and they have all this stuff. And so it looks a lot better than that kind of cheesy place in, where are they, in Cabo?
Cabo.
Yeah. So it's weird.
I just felt bad because on episode 1, Christine says, you know what I'm looking forward to in Mexico?
Oh, I know.
I'm like, oh no, Christine. No, she was looking forward to tequila and coffee. Tequila and coffee.
She was looking forward to smelling him. I remember that.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, I'm just talking about, was it tequila and coffee that she was looking for? Anyway.
I don't know. I'm sure they have that all.
Yeah, I was going to say they have that in California too.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So that is still interesting to me. That was a weird choice. And then when they come back, I mean, I'm assuming they're going to be featured when they all move in together. And they're not going to have that bonding with, the whole group. They're still going to kind of be separate.
I think so, a little bit. But I think that they all get so bonded in the pods that I think that they go through this very intense thing for 6-7 days together. And then
10 days, I think. Yeah.
The Mexico trip is 2 to 3 days. So you have to think about it. They've only not seen them for 3 or 4 days in between. A lot's happened. But no, I agree with you because it looked like Christine and Vic were having the best time.
Oh yeah,
But-
they're having a very peaceful, wonderful time. And then I read there was another couple that got engaged, which was Alyssa. She's the one who put the nail glue in her eye.
Yeah.
And that guy Miguel, who's like a big buff bodybuilder, I believe.
Mhm.
And but they broke up abruptly, or what term did they use? I think abruptly broke up after filming. So something bad must have happened, because a lot of people break up after filming or during filming.
After filming this first part, or
maybe it was very vague. It must have been like right after they filmed the engagements.
so they were like, "Oh, we don't get to go to Mexico? Well, fuck this. I don't want to be with this guy." Maybe they started to realize, like, "Oh crap, we have to do this without cameras."
We might have to go to Malibu too,
or back to Ohio. They want us to just go back to Ohio and live together now? Oh, hell no.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what went on there, but yeah. So a lot of people got engaged.
Yeah,
People
a
are
lot
ready
of
for
engagements.
commitment. Yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right. So
where to begin?
I don't know. The first episode is always so confusing to me. You're trying to remember who these people are, who they're talking to. Some people have multiple. Chris seemed to be the one who was talking to the most women, or what,
Yeah. Emma was the one that had sort of 3 different guys.
Yeah.
And then Chris had a couple different, and so did Connor and Bree.
Yeah. So Bree was talking to Connor and Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And Emma was talking to Connor, Mike, and Steven.
Yes.
And and then Kayvon was talking to Tyler and Kia.
And that's a whole other
mess. Issue. But those were the only real threesome was, well, one of them's not even a threesome. There wasn't a ton of overlap in this. It seemed like there was, but there really wasn't.
No. So, well, where do we begin? Where should we begin? Do we want to just go down the line with couples?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, you want to talk about like in the pods, like Bree. So she was talking to Chris and Connor, and I don't even remember did Chris break it off with her because he wanted to be with Jess? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And she, at first she seemed okay with that, but then later on, when she actually saw Chris, she started feeling differently, right?
Oh, well, I don't know. Do you think that that's what was going on? I don't know. I got the sense from Bree that, and I think this is the problem with Bree and Connor, is I think that Bree is a deeper person. I think Bree wants more depth. And I don't disagree with what she's saying, which is, we just went through this experience together. We talked about getting married. We talked about love. We talked about all these things. And then for me to just see you and be like, hey, what's up? Is very odd. And she's not wrong. And Emma said that too, I think, about Connor, about just, even though, whether he was her number 1 or number 2, that's a whole other story. But she said, I don't feel like we go that deep.
Yeah, Connor he's kind of quiet. I like him. I think he's very self-deprecating. Yeah, I think he's easygoing. But maybe that's just my age. I don't need someone asking me a lot of questions, paying too much attention.
I know. That's why when Devontae's quiet, I'm like, okay, fine. Just be quiet.
I like quiet time.
I like quiet time too. There's nothing wrong with silence, people.
Yeah.
And I'm an extroverted, talkative person. And if I'm saying it's okay to be quiet sometimes, then really, truly it is. Okay. Well, I feel like we're jumping around. Let's talk about the easier couples to talk about first. Let's talk about Vic and Christine. Now, Vic was the one that I thought was the hottest of all of them.
Yeah.
And I still maintain that.
And he's very smooth. Yeah. He seems very mature.
He's he's 33, but he's like 33 going on 63. I mean, he's very mature.
He's very mature. Yeah. And, they kind of bonded over, they both had some difficult things in their childhood. Christine sounds like her parents were
Oh God,
a piece of work, and
yeah, I don't think Vic
abuse issues, and they both were arrested for misdemeanors for weed
at 18.
and they
What are you
bonded
gonna
over
do?
that.
Yeah. Well, and also the other thing too is she's a speech language pathologist. So does she work in the schools or does she work in a hospital? That's what I also thought, because he's a professor. I was like, oh, he's a teacher, and so is she.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, they have that connection as well. And they're both Christians. They're both very big in their faith.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Vic doesn't talk too much about it. He's very vague about it. He's like, around 14, I was running around. But by the time I got to be 18 and went off to college, I kind of put those things behind me. And I'm like, well, if you had been from 14 to 18 working on going to college, I feel like you weren't as crazy as maybe you thought you were. Like you weren't.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you had to have been studying and doing things and applying. And,
well, yeah, if you went straight from high school to college, that's not easy.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I was like, I don't know how bad this was, but maybe for him, it felt like this. But yeah, Christine, I mean, I think we've just barely scratched the surface. She talks about her mom, and her mom's not healed. And her mom, basically, she just said, her mom's dysfunction has affected her, like all of her children and her grandchildren.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And
I hope we get to meet this mom. Is she coming to the wedding?
I don't know. But yeah, and then she tells this story about how she was in the car with her dad, and her dad was swerving, and then the cops pulled him over, and then he gave her the pill bottle to hide.
Yeah.
And I think
that's some serious dysfunction.
Yeah, that's right. Because Vic does talk about having a stepdad who was an alcoholic,
who was abusive,
and abusive to mom, and seeing that. And it sounds like he has lots of sisters. So, and maybe he's the youngest. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think that they both seem very grounded. I don't know. Maybe something's coming, but the first 6 episodes, it was nothing but just happy. Good, getting going in the jacuzzi, and then getting a massage, and then drinking wine, looking at the mountains. I mean, these two had the best deal, honestly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is true. I mean, again, everything has to happen so fast, but in some ways, they were the only ones that really had, quote unquote, a honeymoon, or like a alone time to be together before things get crazy.
The only thing I could think of as to why they couldn't go to Mexico is, I don't know, does someone have an issue getting a passport, or can't leave the country for some reason?
But I feel like production would have been like, everyone has their passports, right? I mean, I feel like production would be checking that. There's no way they would have let them come this far and them not having a passport.
Yeah, true. Well, I hope we find out. Something.
Anyway, well, as of right now, this is the one couple I feel good about. God knows what's going to happen. I don't know.
I know. Is this the calm before the storm?
I don't know. I don't know. But we have to see what happens when they get back to Ohio. And it seems like the fact that but this happens every year. I will say, because we were laughing about the fact that it's not one town in Ohio, not one city. It's all of Ohio. And it does seem like, someone's in Cincinnati, someone else is in Columbus. And like this might become a problem because they're not all in Seattle or Atlanta, even the neighboring areas of Atlanta. Right. But I don't, Cincinnati is not a neighboring of Columbus. So,
but remember when in the Seattle season, Kwame lived in Portland.
Oh, that's right. He did. So he lived in a whole other state.
He lived in another state. So it's like, Seattle adjacent. I don't know. And that's the other thing too. We live in California. It's such a massive state. Like to us, like traveling to another big city, that's like a 6-hour drive. Maybe it's only an hour from Columbus to Cincinnati. I don't know.
It takes an hour for us to get into the city. So, I mean,
to go 12 miles to San Francisco, it's an hour drive. So I don't know. Maybe it's not too bad.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm rooting for you too. I'm really rooting for you too. I
don't let us down.
And they seem to like what they saw when they saw each other.
Yeah. They're attracted to each other, clearly.
Yeah.
No question.
Yes. I mean, well, Vic, how can you not be? Okay. Oh my God, I have so many notes here. Okay, that's all I have about them.
That's all there is about them.
Okay.
So who was the next? They were the first to, they got engaged like in the first episode.
Yeah. And then we never saw them again until they went to Malibu. The second couple to get engaged was Jordan and Amber. So you want to talk about them? Because they're an interesting pairing. I'm like, Amber, God, Amber, like, it's just this feeling of like, Amber just wants someone to love her. She just wants someone to love her and accept her.
She's tired. She's been holding it down as a single mom. She went to nursing school. She's been working really hard for a long time. And she just wants someone to just be her person. She's not, and she's not like a lot of these other women who, maybe still have these overly romantic ideas about love.
Oh God, yes. We have to talk about that too. These women have and I was like, God, did I think this is what love was when I was 20 something?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, Amber, it's deceiving. When you look at her, I mean, she's a beautiful woman, but she said she had her daughter at 26.
She's 33 now,
at 26, and her daughter's 7. So that means that she's like only 33?
Yeah.
34. And she looks like she's at least 40, between 40 and 45. And I don't say that in a negative way.
She's an attractive woman.
She's very attractive, but she looks like, like she's been doing she's been working very hard. And she's
well, Jordan knew how to get to her heart. He baked her some cookies. And
she's like, oh God, I want someone to cook for me. Exactly. That's a big plus when you're a single mom and someone comes along and says, I love to cook, and this is cooking dinner every night.
Well, and the fact that he like made her those cookies and brought them. Oh, like, I think that he, she really liked, she
appreciated that. Yeah. Yeah. And, he is a really nice guy, but of course they're always showing him eating. They're always emphasizing, how much he loves to eat. And it's like, oh, poor guy. Like they're kind of poking fun at him.
But yeah, some of the other things they bond over the fact they're both shitty with money. I'm like, okay.
Well, that's not, maybe you can work together on that.
That one. She does share, and this was, I when I watched it again, I picked up on all the times the men were trying to figure out physically what the women look like. And I don't think Jordan was trying to get this, but basically it comes up that she basically shares that she was a redhead, but now she doesn't say brunette, but it's kind of obvious that she's a blonde. I think she gave away a little bit of how she looks. But the one thing that she was talking about is she had a lot of judgment towards herself of like growing up poor and then feeling judged by people because she was a single mom. I'm like, a single mom, like, okay, you decide to have a baby on your own at 26. Is that so scandalous? I mean, is that such a big friggin' deal?
Not so. But
it seems like but it seems like there's such shame. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, God, do the people in your world make you feel shameful about this? Like, that's why I'm like, I get this feeling of like, she just wants someone to love her and stop shaming her and judging her.
I think she has felt a lot of shame. And look, there still is a ton, like, it's maybe hard for us to understand this, but there's still a ton of shame around that. And with religion, people who are religious or just people who just have a stick up their ass and, there's still a ton of judginess about that. And despite the fact that she was, a young single mom, I don't know if she finished nursing school before or maybe after, because she talks about when her daughter was very, very young, she didn't even have money to buy her Christmas presents. And so maybe, I don't know if she was still in school or, hadn't completed her nursing
or she
program, or I don't know.
Don't some nurses, they work their way from like LPN to this thing to this, right? There's different steps you can take.
Well, I have no idea, but like if she's a nurse practitioner, that's like,
oh yeah, that's a lot.
That's like, I believe you have to have like 4 years of like college and it's also nursing school focused. And then you go like a couple years beyond that. And
Well, and you're very valuable because you can prescribe meds. And psychiatrists are very, well, I guess the nurse practitioners that I know, they're all in psychiatry, but like both sides of it, it's because we don't have enough doctors, we don't have enough psychiatrists, we don't have enough that these nurse practitioners end up doing a lot. And, there's nurse anesthesiologists, like it's crazy, that I was like, oh, I thought you had to be a doctor. It's like, no, but they are like one step away from being a doctor. Yeah. So I wonder if, she was in school or she was working in the healthcare field, but not, at a very low level.
Yeah.
So, and it's very impressive what she's able to do. Do we know what Jordan does for a living?
No, I was just going to say, what does Jordan? We don't know a lot about Jordan, or at least that I can remember.
Is he like a salesman? There was a few people with like software sales. I didn't retain.
Or he's in accounts, account management, or
that's right. He's an account manager.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't talk about himself a lot, or maybe I would just, I could be. Well, he did say, he was the one who, ironically, in the beginning, said that kids were a deal breaker for him.
Yes,
and he didn't want that, but now that he met Amber, he thinks it's exciting. So, that's good.
Yeah. He proposes, asks if she wants to live in his double wide trailer with him or whatever that is. And they seem.
Does he really live in a double wide?
I
or
don't
is that
know.
A joke?
I think it was a joke. They see each other. They seem to like what they see. I mean, I didn't get the sense that, and I think he was quite insecure about his weight and what she was going to think and all of that. And so I think he was pleasantly surprised that she was totally into it.
Yeah. Like she's really taking this experiment seriously.
She is.
Like, she is not focused on the physical, and she's, just focused on Jordan.
Well, and, I guess she just is living in reality a bit more than some of these other people.
Yeah.
Who are living in some kind of reality. Okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, I mean, are there guys who are more fit and maybe more traditionally handsome than Jordan? Yeah, but they're all douchebags, as we will come to discover about some of these people.
Yeah, though we see some scenes in the future with Jordan and Amber, and I'm like, uh-oh. Oh, no. God.
What scenes were those?
I don't know. I just saw a scene where Jordan's being kicked out by Amber or something. Like something happened.
Okay, well, hopefully they patched that up.
Yes. Okay, so where else? So those were the first two. Those two got engaged in the first two episodes. So while all of that is happening, well, and then the other one was Devontae and Brittany.
We didn't see a ton of them.
We saw them in episode 3. They finally kind of show up in episode 3. There's a little bit of it, and then they get engaged by episode 4.
Yeah,
and they haven't even, and then they have the reveal in 5 or something. So we don't know. I mean, all we know about Brittany is she's a labor and delivery nurse, and she's really into vaginas, and she's like loves her job, and she's a very, she is a very bubbly, outspoken, big energy person, full of life. And Devontae is like, wah, wah. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but he is just quieter. Yeah. He's just, and he's actually more animated in the pods than he is in real life.
Yeah. Yeah. Granted, he just found out from production on day 1 or 2 or something that his grandpa had died. And, he considered leaving, and I guess his brother convinced him to stay and told him, to stay. So I don't know how much of it was that. But yeah, you're right, because when he was in the pods talking to Brittany, he was excited about Brittany. But as soon as he saw her in real life, and he doesn't say this till they get to Mexico, but he thought she was white. And he said he had never, because she has this bubbly Britney voice, and so he assumed that she was white. And he said he has never dated a woman of color.
I know. And
which I find shocking.
That is very shocking, especially since you're, a person of color.
Yes.
So
not one, not a single one.
Not a single one. No
crossed your path. I mean,
well, not even someone that was like Asian, Latino, like anyone, no one. So that is surprising. Yeah. And Brittany she's very pretty. She's what her dad.
She's half black and she's half her mother's from Colombia.
Okay. So yeah. And so she's got like very long, dark hair. It's very pretty.
Yeah. But he clearly, that white girls are his thing. Because
I guess so.
He does not seem to be attracted to her.
And I think the whole thing with, it was very clear that people were about to have sex, and Brittany did say, I'm in this season of celibacy, and it was like very obvious, and they talked about it. And what I thought was, I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens, how Devante feels about this once we get to the honeymoon. Once we get to, Mexico, I keep calling it the honeymoon. And then I was like, oh, he doesn't seem to care. He's the only one not having sex, and he doesn't seem to care.
Right.
So I was like, cool. And then when she's saying, okay, fine.
if this is what you need, we can have sex. She's so desperate for some attention from him that she's thrown this celibacy thing out the window.
Yeah, but also the other thing too is like, how long has this season been going on for? Like, was this like a couple weeks earlier and you were like, this is my season? Or has this been months and months and months?
It's painful to watch, honestly.
It is. So they, we don't see a lot of their love story. They see each other in person. I thought they seemed to vibe, but maybe, I guess I can't even tell anymore. And then they get to Mexico, and basically, Brittany starts to have a little bit of a meltdown. And I've said this in the past, and I do feel for them, because I think that what happens is people tend to go in two different directions with this. I think some people are like, I have to know, we have to know. Every conversation's critical, every moment, everything. And we're constantly moving towards this thing, and we have to be on the same page. And if we're not, and then there's other people that are just like having the experience of it, and then waiting to see kind of like, when I get to this end point, how do I feel then? But Brittany, and I feel like Devante's number 2 and she's number 1. And so she talks about how her love language is physical touch, and how, much, and I'm like, I'm kind of thinking, I'm with Devante on this. There's a little bit of, okay, she wants more affection. She wants more of this, but she's mad because she wakes up in the morning and he's not there. And it's just like, yeah, Brittany, welcome to marriage. Psych Legal Pop. We'll be back after these messages.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, yeah, but she hasn't been married for 20 years. She's trying to get to know this guy so that they can get married. I I have a different take on this. I really feel like he is just not attracted to her physically. He liked her personality. He's not at all attracted to her physically. He is avoiding her. He's getting up at 5 a.m. to go watch the sunrise and, for 3 hours because he doesn't want to wake up next to her. He doesn't want to be intimate with her. He doesn't want to touch her. He is not attracted to her and he doesn't know what to do.
Oh, okay. Well, I really got the sense that not so much that he wasn't attracted to her. I got the sense that he just really that he was more of an extreme introvert. And that all of this, because I can't imagine how intense all of this is. And that he kind of like has hit a wall and it's hitting him about his grandfather and everything's happening. And it's just becoming overwhelming. And that what keeps happening is she keeps pushing. And the more she pushes, the more he moves away and scares. And then she pushes some more. And then she confronts him. And, I think that obviously with relationships, there is always one person that wakes up before the other one. It's just sort of her attitude. Like she's mad that he's not there. It's like, okay, well, get yourself ready and go find him. It would be different if she then went and found him and laid next to him watching the sunset and he like runs away from her. Or he's like, ooh, gross, don't touch me. That's very different. There's a little bit of this. It's always about what he's doing for her. How he's going to make her feel better, her feel good, her feel this. And it's a little bit like, okay, this is, you guys have different sleeping habits or whatever it is. And so I think it's probably a bit of both.
It's both. I mean, it's just, it is both. But that's what this time is supposed to be for, is for them to be getting to know each other and spending a lot of time together. And it kind of seems like he's looking for reasons to not spend time with her. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what it sounds like. I don't know. I don't know. Look, if he's not into her, that's his prerogative. Maybe this is for the best. I predict they're not. There's no way that they're going to make it.
No. Because because Alex is about to break this shit up. We'll get to that.
Alex likes beautiful
Brittany. I was going to say, but someone else is attracted to Brittany.
Well, this is so interesting because
I know. I would never have thought that in a million years.
And here's the thing with Alex and Ashley.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to talk about them now?
Sure. Let's talk about them. But just before I forget this thought. So here's two very attractive people, and he is attracted to her. Yeah. But it then comes out, and even before he kind of hits on Brittany, I forget who he said it to, but maybe he said it to Ashley, that he traditionally likes women with dark hair, like more exotic features, darker features. I don't know what that means. If he's talking about skin color or just sort of a,
dark hair, dark eyes.
Dark hair, dark eyes, maybe a little bit of, different ethnicities. I don't really know, but that's not Ashley. Ashley is blonde, but she's beautiful and stunning. He's having sex with her at least.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. Alex isn't going to turn that down. Okay. Because Alex is about Alex.
I'm sorry. Alex, wow. He really is full of himself.
Yeah. Well, there's always one. There's always one guy like this. So when we were going through the men and going through the each one, his photo was super dorky.
Yeah, he looked nerdy.
He looked super nerdy, and we thought, he was the only one whose pants hit the floor. Hit the shoes. So we were very excited to see that.
Like points for that.
But other than that, we thought he was kind of dorky. So when I saw him, I'm like, oh, he is really cute. But honestly, Ashley's stunning. And I think Ashley, she's the kind of, I understand why Ashley went on this. I've had a few clients that look like Ashley, where you're that beautiful. Like men do not talk to you. And the men that do talk to you are the Alexes of the world. And that's the whole thing. When she mentioned in the first episode, I think she said, yeah, my dad says I have a bad picker. And I'm like, oh God, Dad's still right. Because I feel for her, because I feel like what happened was that she ended up exactly with the same kind of person that she would have ended up with regardless. Yeah. Somebody that was just sort of looking at her, the looks and what they want. So
Yeah.
Anyway, but they get flirty. They are flirty.
Well, let's back up a little bit
yeah.
and talk about his, his past. So
can I just point something out though?
Uh-huh.
They flirt. They talk all the sex stuff before they even talk about his past.
Oh, okay.
The flirting all happens episodes 1 and 2. The past stuff happens 3 and 4. So just FYI, that's and this is just a little bit about the foundation of the relationship.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
They come out of the box like that.
Yeah, she came out of the box being very, talking very sexually.
Mm-hmm.
All these kind of double entendres and. I remember that now. It's been so long ago.
Yeah.
But I remember, she was really, I thought it was kind of cringy.
The whole thing is cringy because, but also people don't want to watch other people talk about what they want sexually. I just don't think that this is what people want to watch. I really don't. That the flirting right away, and they're talking about she says that she's a really good kisser. Is he a good kisser? And talking about massages. And then this was my favorite line because Alex says that sex is a celebration. I'm like, oh, fuck, Alex. You bullshit.
Maybe for you, Alex.
It's a celebration for any woman who is lucky enough to have sex with Alex because, it's a celebration for them. And then he talks about he loves feedback. He wants feedback if that feels good. It's like, whoa.
But then she says, her response to that was, oh, so you like to talk dirty. And which I think are two different things. And then he's like, yeah. Yes, it was very uncomfortable. We don't need this in the beginning of the pods. So they led with the sex.
And that's what I'm saying. So they led with this, and then and then we hear Alex's life story,
his sad story.
Okay, share with us his very, very sad. This is what I love. His quote unquote sad story. We've got people that are dealing with parents that are in addiction, no money,
dying,
foot amputated, being abused. But Alex has the saddest story, people.
Poor Alex. Yeah. Now I tuned a lot of this out. So the details are fuzzy, but basically he was a soccer player. So you tell the story.
Okay.
I can't even remember
So he was a soccer star and he played soccer in college and he was supposed to be, like a top 5 draft pick, maybe even top 10.
For what? The
soccer.
For in America or in...
I don't know.
I didn't know we had soccer.
Remember David Beckham came here. There was a soccer team in LA.
Oh,
I don't even know their names.
I don't pay attention to this. I thought all the soccer was, across the pond, but
it also might be because I do know that there are soccer players that do go, just like basketball players will go to Germany or you know what I mean, will go to for other countries. So again, this is soccer draft, not the NFL draft, so it's a little different. But so he leads with I guess he's a soccer coach now. He didn't intend to be. He was supposed to be drafted. He had a bunch of injuries and he was all laid up. His foot was in a cast when the draft happened. So, and he was supposed to be in a suit down at the place where
waiting in the lobby of some hotel or something
to get the big, whatever. And again, I understand that you got up every single morning envisioning that moment and that moment isn't it. So I give you that, Alex, because I'm sure you worked very hard, but apparently, it's this story of how on draft day, a friend of theirs got drafted that was also on the team. And then after that happened, all of his friends kind of were like, we want to get out of here. We want to play sports. So they all kind of ditched him, left him, and he was alone to then he was drafted 23rd overall. But then after he was drafted, he had another surgery. And then after that surgery, he was told he can't play anymore. And so it was very sad because he realized oh, wait, maybe these people, these 20 people I play soccer with, maybe not all of them are my best friends. what a shocker, So that was very, that was very difficult. Now he makes this one statement that I think about relationships and how he sees himself. So he says, I hang out with a lot of professional athletes. because that's the world he's in. I hang out with a little professional athletes, and, women might start dating someone. They see someone, athlete, and they start dating them. And that's very attractive. And then, but he, retires at 35. And then, she doesn't look the same way as she did before, and it doesn't work. Essentially,
God.
Basically what he's saying is, a lot of women are out there wanting athletes like me, Alex, who's never played professionally.
Right.
And that these women who are with professional athletes are only with them to be athletic,
the money and the fame
and the money and the fame.
Yeah.
And the men are only with women because they're attractive. And, so then he's 35, he doesn't have that anymore. And she's a big fat ass. So they just, they just throw their hands up and go, well, we can't possibly be together anymore. I mean, it is the most insane thing. I was like, you kind of miss, like, if the people love each other, if there's a bond there, well, they're not going to ditch each other.
Yeah, but he's basically saying the only reason why each other would want to be with the other person is because of the status symbol. But yeah, that's the thing. That's what makes him so douchey, is that he has made this his entire personality.
Yes.
And he's just like a bitter Betty. And I've met quite a few men like this, men who almost made it to, the NBA or the NFL, or did play in the NFL for a few years and then got a career-ending injury, and it always stays with them. Like they cannot shake it. It's really, And like what level does he coach at now?
I don't know. I didn't even look.
I mean, was it like a high school soccer coach?
I don't know. No, I'm with you. I've had those clients like this, because truly to play a sport and play it at a college level, at this level, that means you're getting up every goddamn morning,
it's your
rain
whole
or
life.
shine, whether you care, whether you want to or not. And I give those people, that all of it. And yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The clients that I've had over the years that really wanted it, they stay bitter with it. The clients that I've had a few that were like, I just wanted a free college degree. Like kind of, they knew that this was the only way. And so for them, they were like, oh, okay, great. I got the degree. I'm going now. And they didn't feel the passion for it.
Yeah. He's super bitter. Like, because when they're in Mexico on the beach, they're talking about players, and they do bring up David Beckham, but she said something, she named a player, and he's like, oh yeah, I've met him. He's a jerk. And it's like, okay, like, if you did really meet him, like, I don't know. It seems so show offy to me. Like, oh yeah, I've met him. He's a jerk. Okay. He just bugs me.
I know.
So
well, I bet you anything he met you, said, hi, nice to meet you, and then didn't ask you any follow-up questions. And so in Alex's mind, that's a jerk.
Yeah.
Because they're not fascinated by him. But yeah, he is a piece of work. So when they finally get to Mexico, you're thinking these two, they're doing it. I thought like, oh, these two, they're connected. They're both really. And then somewhere around episode 5 or 6, I think it was 6, we see Alex corner Brittany. And I was like, whoa, what is happening here? And he sits her down and says that she's much more of his type.
Can you imagine? What the fuck? I mean, and
that she's much more of his type, that she's who he's gone for in the past. And basically alludes to the fact that, hey, Brittany, it's not a done deal yet. Alex still might be on the market.
Yes. He's, again, love is not blind.
No, it's not.
Even though he likes Ashley and she's hot, that's just not his type. Oh, I want to go back to a couple of things that he did when they did the reveal with he and Ashley. He gave her a shirt of his so that she could like smell it or something. Like he's like, oh, it's got some of my cologne on it, or what was that? What he gave her?
I don't. Oh God, I
with his
think I
scent
blanked
on
that
it.
out. I think I blanked that out.
I mean,
like they're finding a child in the woods.
Yeah, the dogs. In case I go missing, the dogs need a scent to follow.
Or I end up on the plane to Malibu.
If we crash the hills of Santa Monica. I mean, he just does these things that are so weird to me. And then I don't know if he said this or Ashley said this about being the Ken to her Barbie.
Yeah.
Well, I think he said that, that he was the Ken to her Barbie.
Yeah.
He's I can't wait to see what happens with these two, because I
feel for Ashley, because Ashley seems very sweet, very kind. She seems like
she doesn't deserve this.
She doesn't deserve this. And I do think that Ashley, you're making the same mistake that maybe you've made a lot. Maybe you do get too physical with the guys too quickly.
Right.
Maybe, because you are a physical person. That's, I don't know, but it really feels like, I think she never thinks about the man. I think she always thinks about how can I get him to,
how can she please him, and
how can she please him, and how can I be aesthetically pleasing? How do I be this role for you?
Yeah. Is she the one who said that she wanted to be the Super Bowl house? Or was that Brie?
I think that might have been. Well, no, it could have been more. A lot of them have all these visions of the house they want to have. I want to be the Super Bowl house. It's like, I want to
coach all my, I think, and like Brie, shocking. She was a competitive cheerleader. Mm-hmm. She wants to coach, her daughter's cheerleading team, and
so
all that kind of stuff.
All right.
Gosh.
Anything else to say about Alex?
I'm trying to remember. Was this sort of a cliffhanger? Like, well, no, because they did leave Mexico. But what was Brittany's response to him? I don't even remember.
I think Brittany was a little surprised. Well, by this point, Devontae has not touched her.
He's nowhere in sight. We don't know where he's lost on the beach.
Alex
roaming around.
See, Alex, if he had given her a shirt like Alex did, he would be able to find him now.
I know. Well, you know what? They could go. Brittany and Alex could go to Brittany's room and fuck, and Devontae wouldn't even know because he's not going to be back for hours. He wouldn't even care either. Even if he walked in on them, he'd be like, "Oh, thank God, I don't have to do it."
Oh, one of the other things about Alex that is just, this guy is so basic that his big book. The big book that changed his life is The Alchemist.
Oh my God, yes.
How fucking basic do you have to be? I mean, The Alchemist it's the kind of book you read. I don't want to insult anyone because I read it. It came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
I read it when it came out. Yeah. And it's the kind of book you read when you're 23, 24, 25, like mid 20s. And you learn a big life lesson, which is, good things are right in front of you. So stop looking outside of yourself. But really, truly, it's about, I think, The Alchemist is about loving who you are and loving where you are. And I'm like, you don't embody any of that, Alex. Like you need to reread this book because I don't think you understand it. But to me, I feel like he read a few reviews about The Alchemist. He might have scanned it a little bit. Because it's not a page turner. I had a hard time getting through it.
It's difficult to read. He probably heard Joe Rogan talking about it or something.
Yeah.
He also said that he likes to read the Stoics.
That's right.
He's reading like Marcus Aurelius or
yes.
I mean, that's like, again, that's a very bro-y Joe Rogan type. Like,
oh, I love the Stoics.
Well, I do too. I love Stoicism. I'm one of them. But it's like, but that's something that these bros talk about.
Oh, they talk about. They do. Okay, yeah. I didn't know it was such a bro-y thing.
It is right now. I mean,
it is. Okay.
Traditionally, no, but yeah, no. When he said The Alchemist, I was like, his favorite book is The Alchemist. You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, but it's the kind of book that it's like, that tells me nothing about you. Do you know what I mean? I think you think it tells everyone how deep you are, but really it shows me that you really don't, you have no idea because it's kind of like, anyway, picking a movie and being like, that movie's so deep or whatever. It's like, yeah, everyone thinks the movie's,
Yeah. You didn't notice something special that everyone
discovered, or some big aha life lesson that people don't learn in a lot of different ways through a lot of different books where, wherever you go, there you are. So anywho, yeah, The Alchemist was my favorite. Okay. Where do we go now?
Okay. Well, let's see.
So now we're now moving into our, all the triangles and all of those kinds of things. So,
okay, do you want to talk about Emma?
Okay, yes, Emma.
I'm still upset. I'm upset with Emma because I don't feel like she should be on this show.
No, Emma's definitely the youngest person that they have. She's 27, 28, and she is. The stuff that, she talks very openly about being adopted, and that she had 10 surgeries by the time she was 7 and she has all of, mainly in her arm. So she has all of this scarring on her arm and skin grafts and all of these things. And that growing up, she felt, part of it being she's Asian and her family, it sounds like her family's not Asian. And, feeling different from them. And then also you have all these surgeries and you look different. And, we all know what it's like to be in junior high school. It's painful. And I think, and she struggled, and then, she's evolving and finding herself. But yeah, Emma's still on this journey, like of self-acceptance, of loving herself, of recognizing, of appreciating these things. She's not at the beginning, but she's definitely not at the end. I just want to say that she's in the middle somewhere.
No. And the thing about Emma, towards the end of the pods, she had brought some scrapbooks, her mother's scrapbook.
Oh, no. Well, no, sorry. Mike is the one that likes to scrapbook Brooke, but she brought the mom's Christmas letters. Those annoying Christmas letters you get from people. I'm sorry if you write these. Oh, I am sorry. Yeah, one of those things where everyone talks about themselves in the third person.
Yeah.
And then tells you everything that person's been up to.
But wait, the scrapbook, that wasn't her mom's scrapbook?
No, that was he gave her a scrapbook. He brought a scrapbook because he enjoys scrapbooking.
Mike?
Yes. Mike enjoys scrapbooking.
Wow. Okay. So it was the Christmas, so Emma's mother's Christmas letters.
Yes, letters.
Now, just in this brief reading, you could feel so much love from this mother, the way she spoke about him.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just like, wow. I mean, we're just reading half a letter and you can just tell how loved and adored Emma was. So, that they went out of their way at all times to make her feel good about herself and to feel comfortable. And, for the most part, it's not like she's hiding. She's wearing like sleeveless clothes
she's
all the time.
Yes.
She's not trying to hide it. She's obviously you can't hide it. She's open about it. She seems it's not. I don't know. She has this hang up that she could possibly give whatever genetic thing she had, where she was born with these birthmarks that could potentially turn into melanoma. So they just removed them. And she's afraid of passing that gene down to her biological children. And that's legit, but she doesn't say anything. I mean, she's adopted. She doesn't say anything about adoption. She doesn't say anything about genetic testing or anything like that. But, she clearly does not, she keeps saying, I'm not sure if I want to have my own, biological children or not. So you cannot, if you, and that's fine. If you're not sure, that's fine. But you cannot go on a show where the whole premise is you're going to get married at the end of this if you're not sure whether you want kids or not, because you need to be able to tell these men you're dating with certainty, either I do want to have kids or I don't want to have kids. Because poor Mike, and I'm sure this is going to be the rest of their storyline, and I think I saw a preview where he says something like, or she says to him, you're pressuring me about this. Like, he thinks in his mind that because she said maybe, that he can convince her by the end of this to commit to having children.
Oh yeah. Are you talking about Mike? Mike is working it hard.
Yeah.
He is.
And poor Mike, it's like, no, if you definitely want to have children, do not propose to a woman who doesn't know if she wants to have children. This is terrible. This whole thing is terrible.
Well, the other part
up for failure.
The other part of it too is it's like she doesn't know. She's very scared about having her own biological children, number one, but she also doesn't know if she even wants children.
Right.
So it's not like, yeah. So it would be one thing if she said, I was adopted and I want to give that to another child and I'm worried about the, DNA and this is what I want to do. And we will adopt and blah, blah, blah. No, she doesn't even know if she wants to have children, period. Yeah. And it's just, it's interesting. Like, you hear how much Emma was supported by her parents and all of that. And yeah, I'm sure that the insecurities she's feeling are the social stuff, the stuff that happened to her in school. But there's also this other part of me that feels like if you have parents and you have a family with a good foundation that's reminding you of what's important, what's not important, that these kids, you know what I mean? I do wonder, like, this does touch her really deeply. And again, I think some of it is her age and that, she just hasn't gone through that. I just think that it was so funny, like the way the mom talked about her. Maybe this is just Gen X, but just like, we would think we were awesome if our parents talked to us like this.
Oh yeah. No one ever
bragged.
Our mother was she's still with us. She's very demonstrative and loving and but this Emma's mom is like another level. Another level.
But yeah, and so again, we don't know what Emma's been through. We don't know all of, I don't know what it's like to be adopted. I don't know what it's like to go through all these surgeries. But no, you're absolutely right. Like, before you go on this show, you have to know very clear cut who you are and what you want and what kind of life you want to have. And then you need to have an idea of what this partner is, but then you've got to like figure out your deal, your non-negotiables, and then move on. I think that it's people are so skewed. They spend a lot of time thinking about the partner, but not about the life they want to live. And anyway.
Right.
All right. So Emma has 3 different suitors. Do we want to talk about Stephen? Because there has been some controversy.
Well, why don't we talk about the controversy with him at the end? Because there is a developing story there. We'll leave him for the end. But suffice it to say, she broke it off with him after a couple of dates because he was just very weird and was saying very weird things.
Well, yeah. I mean, basically what happened was that they're talking and she starts to open up about her past and how painful things were and difficult, and that she didn't date that much in high school. And I just had my first kiss in high school and I slept with someone in college and, all of these things. And he's talking about, like, he keeps telling her like, oh, it's okay. You're a late bloomer. And that really bothers her. And then instead of him stopping and going, okay, this person just shared a bunch of vulnerable stuff and that she's feeling very vulnerable. This is too difficult for Stephen. So he decides, I'm going to tell you some funny stories. Let me tell you about how I took a girl on a date and kissed her, when I was in junior high. Let me now tell you about losing my virginity when I was in high school. Like, let me now tell you. And then he's like, well, did you lose your virginity in the beginning of college or the end of college? I mean, it's like he keeps pushing.
Like, why do you need to? Yeah.
Like, and she keeps saying, well, I don't like that late bloomer. We're all on our own path. And it's like, yeah, it's this thing where he wants to know, he says, like, he wants to know these deep, dark secrets. She shares some of the deep, dark secrets. And because she's not sharing it in the way in which he wants it to be shared, he basically negates all that, starts talking about himself, and then accuses her of hiding herself. And then he's annoyed with her because, he basically gaslights her a little bit towards the end because he's annoyed with her that she's feeling like how she's feeling. And then he talks about the Notebook. I have not seen the Notebook. This must be a different age thing. I've not seen the Notebook, but But you know that Stephen is, I'm sorry, regardless of what we've heard outside of this, just based on this one interaction here, Stephen has his hookup box. And there's a DVD of The Notebook. And, there's a couple candles. And maybe he puts out The Alchemist too. And do you know what I mean? And a few other intellectual books. Maybe he puts out a magazine or two that seems like he's reading The New Yorker or whatever. But this is part of his thing, The Notebook. That's part of his, because he wants women to see him as this ultimate romantic type.
Yeah. Yeah, he just came off, he was real cocky and real just unlikable. And then when he started doing all that, she shut him down. She was just like, no.
Well, and also, Stephen, you are being filmed. There's a point at which he does something that I find to be hands down the most insulting thing that you can do. At least she wasn't in his face. But she was trying to express herself. And then he started doing like the come on, let's go gesture. Like spit
move
it
it
out.
along. Yeah.
Yeah, move it along. And if you've ever had someone do that to you, to your face, I hands down, I'm like, that is the rudest thing that you can do to someone. It's so rude. And I find it so dismissive and it fucking bugs me. So again, Stephen, we all saw it. Emma's going to see this.
Right.
It's a little bit like, you're not fooling anyone. You can't even contain yourself for this. You can't not be an asshole.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to bring him on the reunion.
Probably not.
Given what's happened. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that if you want to stick around at the end. We'll talk about his controversy.
Okay.
But yeah, he didn't last very long. And then we never saw him again. So
no, because I think she was the only one that gave him the time of day. I think everyone else figured out he was a douche.
Yeah, or maybe he talked to some other people who just, they just all got left on the cutting room floor. Yeah, it's always so weird, when the men or the women go back to their quarters and you see all these people who you're like, oh, who's that? Because they don't show them on a single date. And so maybe that was him. Okay, so then she was also seeing Connor for a while.
Connor and then finally Mike. So Connor, so I don't know if I have a ton about her and Connor. She does. It's funny, like they start to get closer. Oh, one of the things with Connor that I thought was interesting was that Connor would put stars next to someone's name that he liked, but then you would see like, oh, you're saying the same line to Bree that you're saying to Emma. That we just saw those too, but like again, these guys are some dummies. Like you do know that everyone's going to see this, so if you have a line, like you cannot keep using it for everybody. But this is where Emma says to him, like, I feel like there's a lot of banter. Everything's surface level. But Connor, it's interesting because in some ways, Emma and Connor are probably a little bit more similar because I think Connor too doesn't feel like, I don't think Connor doesn't love Connor. That's my theory. Connor has some self-esteem issues. And he talks about she talks about not feeling good enough. He talks about not feeling good enough. But she does tell him her story and his reaction is obviously 100 times better than Steven's.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting that both, when she told, so both Mike and Connor had kind of the same reaction to her talking about how she wasn't sure if she wanted to have children and she's telling her story. And they both say, well, I think because of all of that, everything you went through, you'd be a great mother, which I thought was sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't often.
No, I think they're both good guys.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, but Emma was walking around saying that Connor was her number one. And then Connor and Bree, and we'll get into them later in a minute, they're getting closer and it comes up that they're going to pick each other. So they need to break up.
Mm-hmm.
And so Connor breaks up with Emma.
Mm-hmm.
And then Emma goes back to the women's lounge and starts crying and tells everyone, he was my number one. I'm so upset. And then she goes in and meets with Mike and says to Mike, I broke up with my number two today. Hello, everyone. You have reached the end of Love is Blind, episodes 1 through 6, part 1. So you should be able to access the other part. Should be in your feed shortly if it's not there now. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy our podcast, please check out our Patreon. We do a weekly bonus. You get all these shows ad free. Plus, we do a couple other things for our higher tier. Please write us a 5-star rating and review. Those really do help us. Follow us on social media. Spread the word, all that good stuff. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in part 2.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.